Hello, good evening everyone and welcome to the latest edition of the live dugout. Of course, we're still feeling the after effects of India's historic T20 campaign. A lot of celebrations. Some people for some reason saying it was boring. I have no idea why, but I mean that's what people are saying. You're seeing news still coming out of the tournament, which concluded about 2 days back, nearly 2 days back. But we have to talk about something that whilst the ICC is already done, we want to put a little bit of a twist on ourselves. Picking a team of the tournament, because there were a lot of things I didn't agree about when it came to the ICC tournament, team of the tournament. There were a few things I didn't quite like. However, we'll discuss that later in the show. Let's first, as we want to do on our show, just go through some of the things that have been making the news as far as
just a couple of things that we've seen today happen. Let's start from the top. We're still seeing the Indian players get back to their respective places. As Siddharth had reported yesterday, Suryakumar Yadav was still in town. He spent the night in Ahmedabad, and it was only today that he reached home, was garlanded, plenty of people that were waiting for him, his family members. I saw a little aarti of him being done as well. So the celebrations still continue, and then he was surrounded by members of his family, friends, etc., etc. The same holds true for Ishan Kishan as well. He also went home. Same garlanding, a lot of presence of paparazzi. Everyone wanted a picture with him. He, I'm told, also ended up visiting the residence of his late sister, cousin that he lost, and there came some young fans who were then seen alongside him. He was, I think, batting with them in the backyard as well, playing cricket with them in the backyard. So that's as far as Ishan Kishan is concerned. So the players continue to disperse, they continue to get these receptions. Sanju already reached Thiruvananthapuram yesterday, and he's spending time with his family, as I understand. All of this is happening, but in the case of ARSHDEEP Singh, must I say that while everyone's reaching home, he too, I'm guessing, must have reached home or must be about to reach home any moment now over the next couple of hours. But there is a piece of news that must have reached him as well. I'm not too sure, because these days they say it gets deducted from the whole kitty and all, and not the player in charge only has to let go of money. But yeah, 15% of the match fee. But what will concern him more than the money is the one demerit point that's been added to his personal record. That is something that the team has nothing to do with. Yes, the match fee he will have to let go of. But this, of course, comes at the back of the infringement we saw from him during the course of the match, breaking the ICC Code of Conduct, Article 2.9, which disbars you from using the ball or any other equipment, for that matter the bat, and using that against another player. That is exactly what he was found guilty of. No formal hearing, but ARSHDEEP Singh being sanctioned by the ICC.
I mean, there's no formal hearing for two reasons. One, he was guilty as a day.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a very, very horrible thing for him to be doing. I'm sorry, I didn't like it. And it wasn't even necessary. The match wasn't in a close situation. The only thing that he could have possibly been mad at was the fact that Mitchell hit him for 2 sixes in the 2 balls prior. I don't think that's reason enough to be chucking a ball at anyone. I don't think there's anything that is reason enough to be chucking the ball at anyone. So it was a bit unfortunate. Of course, I know ICC has its rules in this regard, but 15% seems lenient, considering that it was so obviously deliberate. This is the other reason there was no need for a hearing. It was so obvious what he was trying to do. It was nowhere close to the stumps. You can see the way he's throwing, was going for the player. Very, very unfortunate. Slightly more ill-tempered player might have reacted very differently. I think Daryl Mitchell's probably one of the nicer ones.
I'm reminded of Kieran Pollard.
Mitchell Stark and Pollard, yes, that's what I was thinking of. Pollard flung his bat.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think he would have taken very kindly to something like that being done. But it is what it is. It's a good thing at least it's sorted. And I really hope it's a lesson for him in the future. Listen, don't pause. Huh? Marlon Samuels and Team West Indies, yes. Of course, Marlon Samuels was himself a bit of a character, so less said about that, the better. If you could make Shane Warne angry on the cricket field, probably didn't have much going for you, my
Yeah,
friend.
yeah.
But either which way, I mean, that is how it is. It's a good thing that he got sanctioned
Yeah,
in
you
that
need
regard.
to set the record straight. Simple as that. No matter, I know there are people, especially across the border, who feel that the rules are a bit lenient for the
They
Indian
are
players.
actually, but they're not
Again,
lenient. They're lenient in general.
they're lenient in general at times. See, maximum that ARSHDEEP could have copped over here would have been a 50% match fee. But yeah, at the moment it's 15%. But see, one thing's clear, that level 1 offense, and yeah, while it's debatable whether he meant malice over there or not, or whether he genuinely wanted to cause hurt, I'm sure they must have figured that out. Only that's why 15 minutes. And secondly, let's be honest, the money doesn't hurt the Indian players. So even if this was 50%, the world wouldn't have changed for them in any which
Yeah,
way.
the demerit points is the main thing which will.
Yes, the demerit points is the main thing over here, and then maximum for a level 1 offense is 2 points. So over there as well, that 1 point has been added. So I don't see anything beyond there to be critical about in action. I think the action's been taken, and rightly so as well. This is what you want to tell the cricketing community and those wanting to be part of the sport going forward as international players, that there is no room in the sport for such behavior.
And there shouldn't be. That's quite frankly, it's just not cricket. To use a phrase ex-cricketers of certain times just like using, that just wasn't cricket. We call it the gentleman's game for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Let's be a little gentlemanly about it. That was not needed. And also, you had no sort of a situation where the match was tight or anything. You were cantering to a victory.
Yeah.
So what if you were 2-6?
I understand where the tempers are high, etc., and you can lose control. We've seen plenty of those situations in the past. And if it was that kind of a situation, if let's say if this was not New Zealand, if this was the semi-final and you were up against a Bethel who was going extremely strong at that point, and then this thing had happened, I understand that this was the big semi-final and you felt that even after 253 you were perhaps losing the game and the game was drifting away from you, then I would have understood, even though I still would not have condoned such behavior, because you expect players to be I understand the made of flesh and bones as well, that's completely fine, but this is about knowing your limitations. Just because you've got the ball in your hand doesn't mean that you can fling it at the batter. So I would have expected better as well, but I'm still leaving that 0.51% chance that okay, even if you let loose of your emotion, then perhaps there could have been that particular match in which I would have seen something like this, and I would have understood it to that 0.5 or 1% extent as well. But otherwise, I don't see there being any room, especially in a match like this one, in which you are absolutely hammering the opposition. You had a good, comfortable cushion. You should have just lied down on that cushion and enjoy it, and just waited for time to pass by.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, it was a bit of a weird thing. Glad it was dealt with quickly, because I was wondering, I'm like, how long will it take them to actually deal with this? Because again, I will never forget the Asia
Cup. I was coming to that, how long it took, and that remember the series of players who were named over there. There was a long list. There was Farhan who was named. There was Jasprit Bumrah who was named. There was Suryakumar Yadav who was named. Then there was
Fahim Ashraf, if memory serves me right.
Fahim Ashraf also was there. I'm not too sure. Was he there?
Oh, it was Haris.
It was Haris Rao, of course. He had to be there on that list. And then the penalties were different for all of those players as well. And it took a long time. I remember it was the Indian women's team that had emerged champions, and they were coming over here and had gone there for that particular event. And suddenly out of nowhere,
this news breaks.
Yeah, after like a fair few weeks, we see that happen. But anyhow, that's done now. And yeah, the ICC acted within 48 hours of the conclusion of the match, as should be the case as well. Yeah. These matters need to be dealt with rather quickly, and when there's no official hearing, when the players also admitted to making the mistake, then just go ahead, sanction and get done with this.
Absolutely correct. But anyway, focusing now on what it is that we are here to do. The one thing, the main mudda of today, so to speak. building a team of the tournament. Now, before we actually go about that, I would be interested to see if Shivam would be so kind to show us on screen, at least me and Harshit, what the ICC team was. Because obviously I can remember some of it. No, not this. What it is that the ICC's team of the tournament was, because it has been named. The one thing which I know a lot of people are talking about is that there's no Suryakumar Yadav.
In that team.
That in itself tells you a lot, that even the T20 World Cup winning captain does not make it into the 11, considering his form had been fairly hit or miss. So I think in that sense, not much of a surprise, not something I disagree with, but I'd be interested to see or hear what it is that the team was once again, just so I know, because again, I remember reading that and going, some things I don't quite understand here. And that's the thing, I want to look at it from an objective perspective. Yes, the numbers are important, but for me, impact matters more. I think that's a fairer way of looking at it.
I think straight at the top, when we get down to making our 11, it'll be interesting to see, because right at the top I see multiple candidates who may have made impact for their respective teams, and perhaps not in the grander scheme of things, and maybe that opens up the first debate as well that we may have. But here's what the team of the tournament, as far as the ICC is concerned, looks like. You've got Sahibzada Farhan, a name who I thought will be coming into the conversation when we get down to business as well. Then there's Sanju, Samson, Ishan Kishan, two Indians in back-to-back number 2 and 3. Aiden Markram at number 4, somebody who did not actually bat at number 4 at any time in the tournament, but he bats at number 4.
And is the captain.
And is obviously the captain as well. By the way, since Shane points that out, wicketkeeper for the team of the tournament shared by the ICC is Sanju Samson and not Ishan Kishan. So
I mean, Sanju was the one who mostly kept wickets, so it makes sense.
Yeah, but Ishan is the one who played more matches and was the wicketkeeper when Sanju wasn't around.
Exactly, that's very interesting.
Then you've got Hardik Pandya at 5, Will Jacks at 6, Jason Holder is 7. In fact, I was, Shane, interestingly looking at some of the other experts who came up with their 11s, and Jason Holder was there.
He had a good tournament.
Prominent mention in some of the other teams as well. Jasprit Bumrah at number 8, interesting. Lungisani Ngidi at 9, Adil Rashid at 10, Blessing Muzarabani at 11, and you have a number 12 that's been named by the ICC as well. Very interesting. I think this is exactly the choice I'm going to have as well, because Shadley did have a very, very good tournament.
In the group stage.
In the group stages, I think it picked 4 wickets against India as well.
No, Shadley Van Schalwijk had a very good tournament, considering, an associate nation player A and B, they didn't make it past the group
stages.
Yet he was the leading wicket taker for the longest time.
He was the leading wicket taker at the start of the semi-final.
Exactly, which in itself tells you everything. I think he was on 13 wickets.
He was on 13. So at the start of the semi-final, I think Varun Chakravarti was at 12. He plays the semi-final, picks up one wicket, becomes the joint highest. And then, of course, he and Bumrah both ended up picking
14.
He ended up picking 1. Bumrah had picked up 4. So Bumrah from 9 had gone to 14, or from 10 had gone to 14, something like that. And then you had Varun Chakravarti and Jasprit Bumrah at 14. And by the way, he is the second highest wicket taker of the tournament, having played 3 for 5 matches less.
Yes, that's the thing. He didn't play any of the Super 8 games. And obviously, if he played none of the Super 8s, the knockouts was a far cry in that sense too. So, I
see 4 matches for him, 9 as I said for Varun Chakravarti. Jasprit
13
Bumrah.
wickets. That's mad. 4 matches, 13 wickets. Basically means he's getting a little over 3 wickets a game. That's a phenomenal
and the one thing, again, this will not tell you how good the field setting was every time that he went into bowl. The fielders were placed exactly where he wanted them to. The Indians, I remember, fell in that particular trap. But credit where credit is due. Schalwijk was extremely good and came across like a breath of fresh air as well in this particular edition of the T20 World Cup.
Yeah, I think so. Let's quickly go down to naming names, and I think let's waste no time in naming the very obvious ones.
Shall we? Let's make life easy.
Let's make life very easy. Now let's go over the batters first, actually, because I do think this is an interesting list. So you've got Sahibzada Farhan, who finishes at the top.
He finishes at the top and by a margin, by the way.
383 vis-a-vis 326
He's
of Tim
57
Seifert.
runs better off than the man finishing second behind him, which is Tim Seifert. Interesting whether he makes it to our list or not.
Not sure. I'm really not sure.
Because
the openers competition is so fierce.
So very fierce because you've got somebody who scored a breathtaking 100 in the semi-final, and that puts him at 298, even though he's at number 5. But I'm guessing,
and I'm not picking Finn either.
Finn, exactly. It's interesting which of the two Kiwis you end up picking, or you don't end up picking at all as well. Because there is an Indian marker that I see.
I don't pick either of them.
In the chasing pack in this graphic that we're showing to you right now.
There's a Brian Bennett who'd make a very good shout.
Brian Bennett. There's an Ishan Kishan who acted as an opener on a couple of occasions.
Yeah,
then
that's
moved
the thing.
To number 3.
That's the thing. There's so many options there.
Yeah.
So let's, of course, as we said, we went through this. Let's make a start by actually naming the very obvious one. So, obvious one, Sanju Samson.
Has to be. Let's start with the obvious ones. Yeah.
Sanju Samson needs to be there for me, easy as you like. So he has to be there, and he will be your wicket keeper for sure.
Okay.
Number 11, you can put Jasprit Bumrah. Eyes
Do that,
closed.
Please. Yes.
Your eyes closed. He has to be part of the 11. There is no debates about it.
Yeah.
As far as any other Indian players, I'd say Ishan Kishan, but and you can tell me.
I'm having him at 3.
Yes, that's
I'm
what I was
having him at 3. I was very clear. I want Ishan Kishan in my team. Again, he scored that 50 in the final before that as well. Let's not forget. Every time that India were losing a wicket, he would still stand there like a rock. In fact, after Abhishek would fall, he would go ahead and score a boundary, the first or the second delivery that he would face, and then, of course, convert those boundaries into bigger scores as well. A couple of, I would say, quiet games for him in the middle, but that's about it.
But those quiet games also came at a time when others were scoring.
Exactly.
So I keep him because again, the impact that he had in the final, not just the 50, he took 3 catches, and now that we know he was playing through personal tragedy, he wanted to leave the team, and I wouldn't blame him if he did. So I don't blame him there at all. So number 3, Ishan Kishan, I think he has to be there for sure. These are 3 players, and I think these are number 3, not number 2. Yeah, number 3 will be Ishan Kishan because I think I have another opener in mind, and I think
I have another opener in mind. But since we are getting done with slots that don't call for much of a conversation, I'm going to go with Hardik Pandya at number 5.
Are you? Because I had a debate there. I might have wanted an Akshar. I'm not sure because with Hardik the peaks were very good, but the troughs were terrible. That's my debate.
I sort of agree, but you know, let's see. Where's the final taking place? Depends. Also, let's try and see what the combination is like. Eventually, do we need more of a spinner in the side or a Hardik Pandya? That's when
you will need one spinner for sure, which is I think another debatable point because I was looking at the spinner numbers. Obviously, numbers wise, your most impressive spinner was Varun, but his performance is exactly his numbers in the last 3 games that you played pretty much puts him out of contention. Even the ICC named Adil Rashid. Right?
Adil Rashid. So, you know, I think Adil Rashid will be my spinner as well. However, when I'm looking at that bowling unit, the fast bowling unit, I think along with the Jasprit, there has to be one more out and out fast. I think I'm putting Lungisani and Ngidi.
Yeah, I would also go with an Ngidi. I think Blessing Musramani just about misses the cut for me. Unfortunate, but also the main reason for that is because I don't think I would not want to be fitting in more than 3 or 4 bowlers. Like right now in this 11, they've got Jasprit Bumrah basically playing at number
8, I think I saw. Yeah. I'm not playing Jasprit Bumrah at number 8.
No, I'm not. That's the thing. I think Ngidi is my number 10 and that's a totally fair shout. And I do think then we'd want potentially a spinner if we're going that route.
So we're going bottom to up now, are we?
See, I had a case for one spinner.
Okay.
For one spinner other than, because if you're going numbers wise, but then I had to eliminate him and I'll tell you why I eliminated him. First, the case was for Usman Tariq. Very decent numbers. Actually, very decent numbers. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, but you know, the people were making chucking jokes. I also made a few. By the way, nothing wrong with his action. He had a good tournament considering he played only, I think, 5 games. 5 games, he had like around 9 or 10 wickets if memory serves me right. Usman Tariq, 10 wickets. See, 5 games, 10 wickets. Basically, you're going 2 wickets a game, which is fairly good.
Yeah.
The one problem and why I had to eliminate him, because again, this was, as I said, when I was doing
very
some
decent
homework,
average, by the way.
A decent average. The problem, and this is where I think you may or may not agree with me, he was mostly playing in Sri Lanka. In fact, mostly not, he was only playing in Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka gave you some very spin-friendly conditions. It's the main reason why when I was even looking at all-rounders, I kind of had to discount Rachin Ravindra because Rachin had very good numbers, both with the bat
But
and
again,
especially with the
he
ball.
also prospered in Sri Lankan conditions.
That's the thing. Where it is that he was playing is very important. He got most of those wickets which he got. Most of them came in spin-friendly conditions. Not even just Sri Lanka. Even if you remember that semi, he was bowling at a time when the pitch was a little stodgy at Eden Gardens.
Yeah.
Once the pitch eased out, New Zealand were batting and then it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
So these were players who, again, I was going through because, again, we had to do some homework and I was also looking at it thinking, who is it? You have to try and make a case for every single one of them. That's why I was looking and thinking, as an Akshar, I would include mainly for impact.
Yeah.
Numbers wise, not really there.
Yeah.
Not there, especially because he was also dropped from one game and this and that. But impact wise, I find him a little hard to ignore.
Very good shout. Very good shout.
Because again, 3D player for me. Someone who can impact, if not with the bat, then with the ball. Not with the bat, then in the field.
Yeah.
He tends to always be there, an absolute live wire on the field. And this has been true from 24. It's been true this year as well. So I would want to keep him. We'll get to him in a bit.
Let's get to him in
let's
just a
of
bit.
course, the main spinner, I think I'll have to agree with you.
Adil
Adil
Rashid. Yeah.
He
Terrific
needs to be
impact.
there.
Terrific impact. And he was really making, the conditions count. Whenever the conditions favored him, he ensured that he was slowing things down. I won't forget that he would slow his deliveries down to 70 kilometers per hour as well. And he was able to get that drift. Exactly. He understood that, bowling slow, whenever the conditions were favorable, he ensured that he made hay in sunshine, and he was very, very tactful about it. Yeah. He was able to crank it up. He was able to bring it down. Did cause some serious troubles to the batters. I'm definitely going to be having him at number 9.
Yeah, I think Adil Rashid would be there for me. But then that means if we're going with this, then we need at least 2 or 3 all-rounders. 3 all-rounders. And that's where I think our thing might get interesting. But first also let's go with who our second opener is.
Second opener.
Because I think if we can agree on a second opener, then it might kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But the first real question, are you or are you not putting Sahibzada Farhan in your 11?
Sahibzada Farhan has to be part of this conversation. Let's be honest about it. If he's bettering the man who's finishing second in the top run scorers list by 57 odd runs, that's a very healthy margin. And that does include his 383 runs, includes 200s as well.
Yeah.
One against Namibia, the other, if you say that wasn't a credible opposition, then you had one against Sri Lanka. So he was good, and scoring a T20 100 is a rare thing. To do that in a World Cup is another, and he's smashed a fair few records as well. So he definitely has to be part of the conversation. But since I'm looking at making a team of the tournament, and then I'm looking at which team at which stage the team exited the tournament, which conditions you were playing in, and I of course let's forgetting the fact that not forgetting the fact that you need a captain as well.
That's the thing.
In that chasing pack, as I was pointing out in the graphic earlier that we had, there was the mention of Aiden Markram, who was looking extremely good at one point. In fact, with 329 odd runs that he finishes with, that is phenomenal. No, Shivam, the other one I'm talking about is numbers.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think Aiden Markram...
I just wanted to have a look at the other graphic.
So the ICC had named him in this thing. That's what he's trying to show to our viewers.
Okay, yeah.
But if you're looking at, our chasing pack that we have.
There you see, Aiden Markram at 286.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing with opener, right? I mean, you have so many options. It was, I think for me, the toughest to whittle down was the openers.
By the way, Bennett as well.
That's what, if you look at the top 5, all of them have played at opener at some point in time. Sahibzada only opened, so did Seifert. Sanju opened when he played. Ishan opened some games. Finn only opened. Other than that, you've got a Bennett, who we know only opened. You've got a Markram, who only opened. Of the other 2, you've got a Bethel and a Shimron Hetmeyer, who are the only pure batter kind of options.
I agree.
That's where it really comes into play. And I think if you're looking at openers, it's the toughest because they will get the most time to bat. Yeah. You'll get the most deliveries. You're going to make hay while the sun shines. So again, I'll go over how it is I eliminated players. With Bennett, my major problem with him was his strike rate. I think he was operating around 140.
40 or something.
Which is a bit low.
But there is his average as well, which cannot be ignored.
Which is phenomenal. He was not out for so many games.
India game again, 97 not out or what? I fail to recall right now, but he got that huge score against India as well.
Yeah, in fact, that was the match, where that journalist asked him, why didn't you guys let Bennett get to his 100? He's like, I'm Bennett.
I'm Bennett.
Somehow, unbelievably, not even the worst
Shivam
moment.
confirms, 97 it was,
Somehow, unbelievably, not even the worst moment involving a journalist during this World Cup.
Yeah.
I don't need to talk about which the worst was. I'd rather not. Yeah. But other than that, see, Bennett I ruled out because strike rate 134.56. We used to pan Virat Kohli for having a 138 strike rate. That strike rate is an issue. Other than that, I think the only option for me, because and this is key, I'm looking for a captain, Aiden Markram. I would, unlike the ICC, not have him play at number 4,
a
position in which he's been terrible, but I will have him open the batting alongside Sanju Samson because he has excelled in that position.
Yes. The last time we saw him bat in the middle order, and this is where I don't agree with what the ICC have put out. Is again in that bilateral series against India where they didn't know where to bat Aiden Markram. He's batting 4, 5, etc., etc., and we know how that the series played out. But the moment that he gets promoted to number 1, number 2, you see what you get: 160 odd strike rate, at times 180 strike rate. You are getting a consistent flow of runs as well from him. So for the 286 runs that he scored, plus captaincy, plus can give me a fair few overs as well, and also get a wicket in those fair few overs that he will bowl in the power play to a left-handed batter. For that reason, I will definitely have an Aiden Markram over there, who by default becomes my captain as well.
Exactly. So that's one way I do agree with the ICC. Markram has to be there and he has to be my captain. Mainly because my captain in Suryakumar Yadav doesn't actually merit a place in the 11 purely basis his batting form. So in that sense, unfortunate, but I think Markram is both my second opener as well as my captain, and Ishan at 3. So now, see, that's what I was saying. You will need a few all-rounders for sure, because you only got 3 pure bowling options, guys, who can give you 4 overs.
And now, though, Shane, interestingly, over to you now, and I want you to answer this one because you dropped in the name of an Akshar Patel over here. Looking at the fact that now you got a Markram over here who you can rely for good 3 to 4 overs, not just the 1 or the 2 overs, 3 to 4 overs you can rely on. And you've got an Adil Rashid who will definitely bowl you all 4. Do you really need a third spinning option necessarily?
No, but actually you might. You know why? Because Markram, if you look at how he bowls, he was mostly bowling just an over or 2 overs. I can think of someone who's actually far more effective bowling just those same number of overs. And this is where I myself am questioning if you can fit in Akshar. You know why? How can you ignore Will Jacks?
No, Will Jacks as well.
Will Jacks.
Very interesting, yes.
Because with Will Jacks, you were getting all-round performances. It wasn't just his bowling. He was being very effective with the ball and he was getting you quick-fire runs. I think he had 3 player of the matches. I think 2 of them came in the Super 8.
Yeah, that Sri Lanka match and the match before that. Wasn't the New Zealand match?
I think it was the one before that.
Before that.
Yeah. It was the match which they had. I don't remember against who. It was Pakistan. No, and also it was that match against Sri Lanka. Remember?
Sri Lanka match, I remember definitely.
He took 2-3 wickets in the power play itself. So that's the thing. It's hard to ignore him as well. And that's been the problem. Okay, but before, see, you need 1 spin bowling all-rounder. You can't have more.
I think let's get done with a number 4, 5, 6,
all
of that, and then let's try and see if we can get more bowling options over there. Maybe we don't have to look at another spinner. Let's see. Coming back to where we are at number 4, who I think I have a name in mind for number 4.
Which is?
Shimron Hetmyer.
I was thinking of that too. Shimron
Hetmyer had a good tournament, gun in the field. And his numbers as well, the times that he was playing, look at that, finishes with a strike rate of 186.
At an average of 40.
At an average of 40.
41 if I'm being more precise.
Gun fielder, in fact, as I just mentioned, was giving the West Indies exactly the kind of impetus that you needed. And you were relieved in that India match as well, that Shimron didn't give you a lot of trouble. So, Shimron Hetmyer, for the tournament he had, the way that he started, and his returns overall, Shimron has to be my number.
Also, with Shimron Hetmyer, the one thing which used to be his major Achilles heel, being able to negotiate tricky spin, he was taking on with no problem this time around. Spinners were absolutely being slaughtered by him, which is the one major problem which I used to always have with his batting at times. Is that great as a batter he is, undoubtedly very destructive, gun fielder, can pull off spectacular catches. Against spin, he would always be dodgy. This time around, I can safely say that that's not really been the case. He was very good against spinners. He made absolute mincemeat out of Varun Chakravarti. So, and it's not just Varun. There were a lot of other bowlers who suffered his wrath. I do think, 4, it has to be him. He's the only one. I would have normally eyes closed gone with a Sky at number 4, but his numbers were bad. Like 30 average, 136 strike rate. Sorry,
that's
can't be justified.
He'd be very happy with the trophy, not perhaps his
individual performances.
Overall individual performance, but he'll take that, I think. You want to be a World Cup winning captain.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, that the trophy counts for a lot more than how you performed. Of course, would have been better if he had performed as well. But yeah,
you can't have
misses out, and I didn't have to spend a lot of time eliminating him from the.
No, I couldn't, because my first question was, who will be my captain? Because I knew for a fact I couldn't pick Sky.
You know, the one good thing I just realized about making this 11 is you don't have to worry about overseas slots.
That will be a big worry.
Only other time you will have this problem will be 2 months from now.
Not 2 months, 2 weeks.
No, you mean the tournament will be after the 2 months.
Oh yeah, you'll have to have 4 foreign players. You'll need to include an impact player. For the heck of it, we can also include a number 12. I wouldn't mind.
But there's no impact sub na.
But there's no impact sub, but there's a 12th man. Exactly. We'll have that problem, as Shivam rightly points out. For those of you who are regular watchers, you know that we always do like a SWOT analysis of all the teams going into, the IPL. So we'll be doing those soon. Obviously, it'll be coming your way soon enough. Then also we'll have that problem. Every team has 8 foreigners. How they'll do you fit in 4? That's going to be a major issue.
Those headaches aren't too far away.
They're not at all far away. So now if you're going over, I think you will need a couple of all-rounders. Why I say that is because you just don't have bowling otherwise.
No, how many? So there's a few names, Shane, that come to my mind. There is a Harry Brook. Couple of performances that were good from him.
But
there's
again,
Jacob Bethel.
There's
Jacob Bethel. Then you've got a Will Jacks. There's a Hardik Pandya. There's a Jason Holder.
Exactly. I think Holder.
These 5 names outright, are sort of,
Sam Curran with the bat misses out, unfortunately. I agree with Shivam. I think Sam would have been a good shout. But his batting numbers might make him miss out.
I'm even considering the suggestion that Shivam comes in with. So that makes it 6.
So 6 players who are contesting for basically 3 spots.
Let me insert another one over here. I know I'm only increasing the problem for both you.
No problem. Good headaches.
But there's a Shivam Dubey as well. I know he was expensive, but because you mentioned impact, let's not forget that in that West Indies match as well, those 2 boundaries, real pressure releaser. Even in that England match as well. His cameo over there, and in the final. Those 24 runs, remember you had a lull as well before the final over was bowled. But then how did you make a 200, 220, get to a 250? It was because of those 24 runs that he had scored in the last over.
Correct.
So Shivam Dubey, with the ball, you'll always have a few grouses with him in this tournament. It leaves you with more grouses than one. But let's not negate his contributions and the tough role that he had to perform.
I cannot negate his contributions because the impact which he made was phenomenal. There's one small problem. The impact only came with the bat. That is my major worry, because with the ball, he ended up becoming that player who the opposition targeted by default. And that's not a good sign. If you're defending 30 runs in the final over in a semi-final and you give away 22, that's not a good sign. And that's why I'm saying, because right now the team is crying out for all-rounders. You've got 3 pure bowling options. And Markram is a part-timer at best. He'll bowl 1 over, maybe 2. I've seen him bowl more. But in this World Cup, basis what I've seen, he was often that guy who'd come bowl 1 over, job done, go. Case in point, the India match.
How about we have Jacks at 5?
But actually Jacks was mostly batting 7. That's the thing.
Jacks.
For 5, I think.
It was Bethel who's.
And I might have to rule out a Bethel for again one simple reason. One good knock. Same reason I ruled out Finn Allen. All of those runs, majority of them came in one good knock. Finn also.
Actually, 7, I'm also comfortable having a Will Jacks over there.
I think Will Jacks at 7 is a fair shout. So we can put him in. Will Jacks at number 7 is an easy shout. I'll give you an 8 also. Jason Holder. Because
No
again, the
problems.
impact which he had with both bat and ball,
Yeah.
very, very
He
good.
was hitting the ball cleanly, was good overall. Yeah, I'm fine with Jaisal Holder at number 8 as well.
Holder at 8. Now it really comes down to, as I said, 5, 6. Because see, now you've got 5 bowling options.
Yeah.
Do you include a Jags? Do you include a Bethel? I will have to side with the Jags just a little bit because he was giving me everything. I know Bethel bowls a bit as well, and he did. I think in a couple of matches he did roll his arm over. The problem is not A, often enough. B, didn't have the kind of impact that a Jags did. So I think Jags wins it there for me. No questions
Well,
asked.
I think I'm the fact that we have our 7 to 11 filled up now.
Yeah.
I think it gives me clarity that I can go ahead and have a Hardik Pandya at 5.
Exactly. That's what I was
It's
thinking.
because of the fact that even if I'm looking at Hardik not bowling,
Yeah.
the fact that Hardik Pandya, and we know rather than have him at 5, you would want him to be batting higher up the order. I'm having Hardik Pandya at number 5.
Yeah, I think Hardik at 5 too makes sense for me.
Yeah, because see, we've seen that in the IPL as well. While we know he's a very good finisher and he's got those calm nerves, but there has been that case that's been made for him that he needs to be playing more deliveries. And number 5, we've seen him be promoted by the Indian team as well on a few occasions. So Hardik at 5 for me.
Yeah, and see, now that way what you've done is you've got 6 bowling options.
Yeah.
Your number 6 could in theory be a pure batter. Now the real question is,
but who? But who?
Who is that player? Can we take a quick look at the stats? Because again, I have a few names in mind, but I do need to make up my mind by looking at some numbers. I mean, see.
None of these guys, again, these are all openers.
With Bethel
Yeah, can
being
we
the
have a
only
look
option.
at the other list?
Yeah, Bethel being the only real.
Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. This is the one.
I mean, see, that's where again I think we
See,
might.
if you're looking at Brook, he finishes with an average of 30, strike rate of 160. Rickleton,
strike rate is fine.
yeah, Rickleton, Hope, these guys. Shivam points out Jacob Bethel, but again, Shivam Bethel at what 6 we're looking at.
No, Bethel can be 6. That's fine. My point is, of those 280 runs, 100 came in one game.
Yeah.
That is my major problem. So I think I'll make it simple for you. The toss-up is between Jacob Bethel and the Shivam Dube. At number 6, he was coming into bat at number 6. That's the thing. That's where Shivam Dube suddenly creeps back in. Just when you thought he's done, he finds his way back in.
I think I'm going with Dube then.
Yeah, I think I would have to go
I'm
with
going
Dube
with
as
Dube
well.
for the simple reason that again he would only get a few deliveries, and look at that. If you're looking at batters who played just at the position that he would play, he's got a very healthy strike rate as well. Barring, so we're looking at those who finished with about 220 to about 240 runs, 250 runs amongst those batters. Shivam Dube has a strike rate of 169, which is the highest. There's a Shimron Hetmeyer I see, but he's batted higher.
And we've already batted him.
And you've already batted him. And there is a Ryan Rickleton as well, who falls in the same range.
No, but the problem is
he also bats higher.
Ryan Rickleton is batting at number 3.
Yeah, so for the fact that Dube comes in at that stage, gives you a strike rate of 170, average is 40. And we know how much this Indian team has relied on him and giving those powerful ends.
Yeah,
I think I'm going
2-3
Dube.
games. Yeah, I'd have to go with Dube as well
Dube.
because yeah,
Shivam
because
also
the
goes
other
to Dube.
option was Bethel or Harry Brook. The problem is that Brook was mostly batting 5. The one game where he batted well, he was at 4. So I'm not really sure because again with Brook, he's frighteningly inconsistent.
Yeah.
He's England's Sanju Samson.
Yeah.
So that's my problem with him. I think Shivam Dube makes it in because again he was A, batting that position. B, he gave you those impactful knocks down there. That impact where he'd come, hit 2-3 fours, get a quick fire 20-30, muscle the spinners. Very useful runs. So I do think we have our team of the tournament. This is the... If I have to name a number 12, I think I'll go with the same number 12 that the ICC named, which is Shadley. Again, you
It's
have
more
to
than
give...
just an honourable mention, by the way. He
Yeah.
was good. He played India, he played Pakistan, let's not forget, in those group stage matches. And he was extremely good. It didn't look like, those wickets had come by sheer fluke or the
Nothing.
bowler
There
was
was
being
skill.
targeted.
There was a lot
and-
of skilled bowling
and,
there.
things that you would often say, let's say, about a Shivam Dube or a Shardul Thakur.
Marcus Stoinis.
Or somebody like a Stoinis that, batters are always looking to attack and these guys get their wickets somehow. With Shadley, it was meticulous work.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I would have a Shadley there. And I think it's pretty unanimous then. Can't be anyone else because again, he was that one associate player who absolutely shone. I know Netravalkar was good in spells. I think Ali Khan would have had a good shot of this if he didn't get injured.
Injury, yeah.
Because I remember he was breathing some serious fire, 140
Against
plus.
India, yeah.
He got Abhishek. He's a very good bowler, Ali Khan. But unfortunately ended up missing out due to injury, and that was the main thing. And that's why Shadley really stepped up.
Let's do it ourselves. Let's count the number of Indians that are here before we get called ultra-nationalists, bias,
India Cricket Council.
India Cricket Council,
There's 4.
and all of those names. 5, no?
No, 5.
So
Yeah.
there's Sanju, there is Hardik, Shivam, Ishan, Jasprit, Bumrah.
But can you make a case for any of them really being out of the side?
That's
I
my
cannot.
question then. It's the winning team. You actually, in football, which involves much more players and many more teams, you've had times where at the end of the season, and this is peak Manchester United that I'm talking about, or the peak Man City if you would take for the recent years. There'd be time you would make an 11 and there'd be 8 of those Manchester United players, or the peak Barcelona sides as well, if I can recall those the era between
the
8
Xavi,
to 11.
Iniesta, Busquets era.
Xavi, that whole team will make it to the national team also, with just Casillas who would come in from Real Madrid.
And Xavi Alonso would be on the bench.
It would be on the bench, yeah. So don't accuse us.
And ICC took 4 players. See, that's the thing. 4 players came in the ICC 12. 5 came in ours. And again, I do think, as I said, I had a couple of issues with their 11. I think Sahibzada going out is fair. And we brought in a Shivam Dube, someone who makes it more in terms of impact, which I think for me, if you ask me, I'm more of a fan of judging impact at times when it comes to T20 cricket.
You have to.
It's not so much only about the absolute numbers, it's the impact. Of the 280 runs you scored, how many of them came in a crunch situation?
Yeah.
How many of those came against a big team?
Yeah.
Of the 240 runs that Dube scored, I can remember at least 2 or 3 instances where those runs were vital to India.
You had tournaments after tournaments where Rashid Khan wouldn't have picked you wickets, but his economy would be stellar.
Why? Because players were too scared to attack him.
Attack him, exactly. See, the benefit of that, the other bowler who's bowling from the other end gets that, now you've got to make up for an over that has not given you enough runs. But Rashid Khan is doing a job which no graphic will ever reflect, or no stat will ever be able to tell you how much of that impact and the pressure that it puts on the opposition, drying up the runs.
It takes me back to the kind of role that I remember. So, for those of you who are slightly on our age side, the Australian teams, the dominant Australian teams in the 2000s, the one player who I think doesn't get his flowers more often, Jason Gillespie. Why? Because Gillespie was the guy, if you look at the number of wickets he got, his numbers don't stand out. You had a McGrath who had 500 odd.
Yeah.
You had a Warren who reached 700. The problem was when you were looking at that, you look at Gillespie and go, he had about 280 odd wickets. It doesn't make for impressive reading. Why I say he was understated? Not only because he was a very good bowler, but if you go over those 280 odd wickets, you'd realize that most of them were top 3-4 batters. Most of them. So he was that guy who'd put in the hard yards. He'd be the one doing what you call, as I was saying, Rashid, he would be that person putting the pressure on one end. He wouldn't be the one who would often get to bowl at the tail enders, which was the job mostly reserved for a Glenn McGrath. It was mostly the job reserved for a Shane Warne.
Yeah.
Because again, Shane Warne, sorry, not Warne. Sorry, Warnie. A Shane Warne. My point is that was the role that, whilst it gave you numbers, it's the less glamorous role that a Gillespie did. Bowl hard at the top order, run the risk of being hit at times.
Agreed.
But he got those key wickets, and that's the thing. That's where someone like even an Ngidi, I'd say to an extent. I know this time around he's been the main man, but at times he used to sometimes be that guy just getting wickets because the opponents knew that they couldn't hit a Rabada.
And Ngidi, by the way, Ngidi prior to this tournament, or the Ngidi 1.0, if I can call him that, at the end, Ngidi 1.0, who was largely known for being expensive. Yes, he'd get a wicket, but
he was expensive.
He was very expensive. Those averages will always tell you the story
averages,
about...
the economies, they were not good.
They were not good. Yes, he's picked up wickets even when he was with DC. Yes, he's picked up wickets even when he was at RCB or at CSK for that matter. But he was always expensive. That's why he was never ever a top starter. But this time though, the story may have changed.
Exactly. This time around, I remember looking in the starting of the tournament going, my God, I think 3-4 games in, he was operating an economy of 7.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this Lungi Sani and Ngidi we're talking
the way that he strangulated the Indian batters, I would say. Really put on the chokehold and didn't let the Indians settle at all. You thought that he only had the cutter, then he brought in an off cutter, he got in a left leg cutter, and he was only targeting the stumps, then bowling under the bat, not giving any room at all to the batters. It was very, very good in that India game, Lungi Sani and Giri. So but at this point, let's try. Shivam, we've shown our 11, 12, I should say. Okay, now that all of you all have, Hanji.
Fair.
Okay, we can have a slash over there and have
Shadley slash Akshar.
Yeah,
with the
slash Akshar. Yeah, the team actually needs a vice captain as well. So yeah, he can be that over here.
True. But okay,
a vice captain on the bench. That's also happened in this tournament against South Africa.
A decision you almost live to regret. Let's take a look at now what it is that the family members have to say, as you guys can get a clear view of the 11/12/13 that we put out. But let's see what it is that you guys have to say as well. I would be very interested. This is again 8 again. So let's see how it is that you guys are feeling. That's the main thing. Because again, I think one of the fun aspects of our shows is being able to debate
listening
with
into
you
guys.
So let's see how it is that you guys feel. What is it that you guys are saying? Do we have any supers first and foremost? Let's take a look at what it is that they are saying.
Okay, so can we just minimize that bit? The ad over there we're saying.
Yeah. So Ashish is asking a question. What is your favorite introductory music tune? 2026 T20 World Cup or 2024 T20 World Cup?
Is he talking about the tournament songs?
I think he's talking about the tournament because they use a snippet of that usually is the lead-in.
I think this year's was called what? Feel the Thrill, huh?
Whatever it was called, I did not feel anything. 2024 for me. Although if you have to ask me to pick overall, nothing beats...
11.
No, 15. Bob's Beat. Please listen to that song. I remember 11. I found
Shankar Mahadevan Manna.
De Ghuma Ke was the song. I remember it. But for me, 15. That song was goosebumps inducing, man. You really
what
felt
did you
like...
do in 15, yeah?
Nothing much, but the song was fire. The song was fire.
For me, it's the 2011 song.
But if you're asking me to pick purely from these two, 24. You had a nice song, with another Caribbean flair and everything.
Which one was it? I just don't recall.
Something, Feel the World. I'm forgetting what it was called. I'll make you listen to it once we're done. Obviously, can't say it here for copyright.
See, I've liked 26, I can tell you that.
I didn't like it that much. Again, a lot of these songs, sometimes I hear them and it's like, it doesn't feel like an anthem. Again, I had the same problem with the Women's Cricket World Cup anthem also. Just didn't feel like an anthem. Felt like an ordinary song. For me, an anthem has to evoke something.
It's got to be emotive.
Yeah. So Ashish Dhar is named his. He goes Sanju, Samson, Jasprit, Bumrah, Sahibzada Farhan, Will Jacks, Akshar Patel, Tim Seifert, Lungi Ngiri, Hetmeyer, Raza, Ishan Kishan and Brian Bennett. Very interesting. He's named 2 Zimbabweans. I like that.
And he's gotten 3 all-rounders though.
And 3 openers.
All-rounders.
No, 4 openers. Sorry.
Openers I meant, not
4
all-rounders.
openers. Sanju, Sahibzada, Tim Seifert and Brian Bennett.
Yeah, that's where I think the balance is lost, Ashish.
Yeah, balance is lost, but good shout.
Yeah.
I like what Ashish Chandale also says. He says it's crazy that Boom has not played a single ODI since he actually attained his peak, that is post 2023 World Cup. Is Boom the best T20I bowler in history? Man, that's a debate that you can only answer. There is a
Malinga as well, you can't look past.
Yeah, and also that's the thing that you can only answer once his career is done. I'd say he's on course.
But by the way, Malinga had one T20 World Cup.
Bumrah has 2. That's the thing. That's where it gets funny. Also, there's a reason he hasn't played ODI since then. Wait, he didn't play ODIs? He didn't play the Champions Trophy? No, he didn't play the Champions Trophy. He didn't play the Champions Trophy. Injury. Oh, yeah. That's funny. Otherwise, he would have played there. Otherwise, the main reason you would have seen him playing some ODIs in that build-up. Now, of course, you'll see him playing only ODIs, I think. I think his T20s is done for a while. Ashish Dhar asks, ICC 11 coach should be Gigi or Shukri Conrad? Obviously Gigi. What sort of a question is that?
This is much better.
That's a good question. I do think that no, it'll be Gigi though. No, not Mike Hesson.
Not Mike Hesson at all.
Not Mike Hesson at all. I dare say England's head coach would probably have a better... Baz would probably have a better shout than Mike Hesson. Or even Shukri.
Shukri's a good shout.
Shukri's a decent shout.
Even though he didn't make it to the final, but Shukri's a good shout. You know the kind of work that he's doing behind the scenes, and it's credible. Strong personality, just as strong as I would say Gautam Gambhir is. Very, very resolute. I do like Shukri quite a lot, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout.
Yeah,
as well.
Greg Chappell, not Chappell, says that are there still any doubts on VK after his incredible form?
VK? Oh, he's talking about an ODI.
Yeah.
Listen, from
I
my
never
side,
had
there's no
any
doubts.
doubt at all.
I have
Any
not
doubt
had
at all.
doubts.
After that Champions Trophy, so what if there was a gap, man?
Look at his form in bilaterals.
Yeah,
also.
I'm saying even I know the conversation that was doing the rounds over there, and you wanted Australia, and the conversation only increased after not so good outing in Australia, barring the Sydney ODI. But that again, for me, putting Virat, Rohit through that test, through that conversation, just not needed. High quality guys, boys.
Absolutely. Oh, so we'll take a couple more 11s. You've got Sarat Chandra, who's named his, saying Sanju, Markram, Ishan, Hetmeyer, Jax, Hardik, Akshar, Santner, Bumrah, Ngidi, Blessing. That's an interesting 11. Rashid has been hit or miss this World Cup. I agree. Shane sir, taking a Thursday off to watch PSG versus Chelsea. Give Harshit sir off tomorrow. Why would he take off tomorrow? What's tomorrow?
I don't think we're playing tomorrow.
You're not playing tomorrow. It's not You guys aren't in
There are not
CL.
any cup competitions that we're part of. It's the Champions League week anyway.
So Harshit is not also going to be off tomorrow.
And 14th is when I remember United have the next game week.
Yes. And just FYI, I in fact am off on a Thursday and I will be watching PSG Chelsea. You bet I will. After what happened in the Club World Cup, I'm very, very excited to watch that match. You've got Jitu, who also gives his own 11. We'll quickly take that as well as our freaking awesomes, one by one. Jitu goes Sanju, Samson, Ishan, Hetmeyer, Raza, and captain. Ooh, good shout. Very interesting shout. Hardik Pandya, Dubey, Jax, Akshar, Bumrah, Adil, and ARSHDEEP. Right and left at top, along with ARSHDEEP left. That's interesting.
Left-handed bowler.
Interesting. I get your point, but again, ARSHDEEP was also a bit hit or miss this World Cup.
Yeah.
Little bit for me.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome says his is Sahibzada Farhan, Sanju Samson, Shimron Hetmeyer, Sky just because of his captaincy. Oh, I like that.
Okay.
He's made that yours just because of his captaincy. Dubey, Jax, Akshar, Janssen. Janssen was an interesting shout. Angidi, Blessing Mujrabani, and Bumrah. Some very varied shouts. I like that.
Freaking awesome. When I look at that 11, I'm reminded of something that they say that the captain shouldn't be in the 11 because he's the captain, but because of his contributions.
Exactly. Let's see. You've got Sanket, who tells both of us hi. Hi, Sanket. Long time. Let's see who else is there. I like what Abhishek Rawat says. He says Finch 2021 versus Sky in 2026. And West Indies of 2020 World Cup won on real rank turners, but this India may not have won against New Zealand on a tricky track. Hence, they copied Delhi Highways, and Ian Smith wasn't there in the finals. Why so? That's a good question.
See, why Ian Smith wasn't there, I can't answer.
We're not the broadcasters.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Priyanshu says, जीतेगी मेरी धोनी की India.
Arey wah. Lazy Lad asks, this is a great 11. Are you also planning top 5 innings, catches, moments?
Oh.
Might have to take a look at that.
Yeah.
In the middle of everything. I would
Catches
totally.
also, yeah. We've seen a
fair few
very
blinders,
good
yeah.
catches. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, you have to do this thing. Anshu Mishra says, isn't the India versus West Indies and India versus England game the most watched game? Shouldn't this be reason enough for ICC going forward to stop seeding India and Pakistan in the same group and let cricket rule the charts? Anshu?
200%. 200%.
The problem is that can't be done before 27 because the current media rights
sold
deal.
Already.
And also don't forget, 27, actually, you won't be having that full round robin. You'll be having split groups again because you've got 3 host nations. So yeah, you'll have India, Pakistan there. I think after 27.
Which you could. But I would that England-India match as well, because of the rarity of it, I felt.
No, not rare. Where rarity? Yeah, we play so many times.
No, not rarity, not in the fact that you play in England that often. Rarity in how those numbers really racked up.
That way, sure.
Because how often will you see a team post 250 plus in a big semi-final, and then the other team goes ahead and gives the team batting give that kind of a scare where you're seeing that match could be lost as well. You're one hit away from taking that over into a super. So it's taking that match into a super over. So it's a very rare occurrence for me that 255 are being scored 253 and those 253 runs are being chased down as well.
But also you have to look at the circumstances then surrounding West Indies. That was a must-win game.
Yeah.
That game might not have had that kind of viewership if it was a dead rubber. Also a possibility. However, I do get your point, because again, if we talk about even other tournaments, I remember there are some tournaments where India Australia has been the most watched game. I do think you need to perhaps move past this India Pakistan bogey, which you are selling every single time to broadcasters and saying you're compromising your sport.
Yeah, yeah.
Any more comments? Let's see if we can take some. Anshu says Bumrah Malinga se bahut upar hai. I don't know. That's debatable.
Yeah,
It's debatable.
I'll reserve my thoughts for now.
Yeah, that I think once both of them are retired, then yeah, I think.
No,
we are-
only Bumrah, na. Malinga to is retired.
I'm saying once Bumrah is retired, yeah, then and only then, obviously. Let's see. Varun Parvatanari says, could Jacob Bettel be replaced with Akshar in your team? Backup batter is missing. Bettel can be that, and backup bowler is Van? Who's Van? Oh, Shadley Van. Okay. No, I agree. It could be, but
Van.
again with Bettel, the main
You know what this
reason-
reminded me of?
What? PGT.
Ryan 10.
Ryan 10. Mr. G Tech News asks, क्या सूर्य अभी भी कप्तान रहेंगे या नया कैप्टन बनेगा? I mean, basis his comments, he doesn't want to quit.
He has his eyes set on an Olympic gold medal now.
And a retention of this, a three-peat.
Yeah.
Whether he'll get that chance though, I'm not so sure. I think the
I
BCCI may have a conversation or two.
Yeah.
If he was in form, they might not have.
Yeah.
But his batting has been woeful for the past year. Anyhow, we will take your leave now. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us on this edition of the Live Dugout. Sorry we couldn't take all of your questions, but we did make an effort to take most of them. We hope you enjoyed this show as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. As always, like, share, subscribe, tap the bell, stay tuned for more updates. Also, watch some videos. There's plenty of other content up. Harshad, please do the honors.
Okay, then, vegetables are coming your way. Fresh out of the oven. Fresh from the farm, I should say.
Not the oven, yes.
Fresh from the farm. Go put them in the oven. And then whatever topping that you want on top of it. So yeah, good night, take care, Shubhratri, Shabba care, eat your vegetables.
Don't trouble your mother and subscribe to Sabzi Today. Sorry, Sports Today. Sports Today. Bye.
Ye intentional tha.
That was totally intentional.
Yeah. Not like the bish.